Welcome to the podcast. All right, let me make sure everything's unmuted as it should be because we wanted you to actually be able to hear us. And let me just make sure with our moderator here that everything's good. And we'll get started. Okay, so welcome to the first ever Beyond the Bookshelf live podcast. Woo!
Yay!
So, basically, this is our new format of how we're going to bring our thoughts and opinions and book club-ish stuff to the community. But we first kind of want to talk about where we've been, and then Emily will kind of go into like where we're headed. So if you've been on the journey with us in the beginning or since the beginning, you'll know that we had a lot of different ideas last year. We started the business, officially started the business in January of last year. We had done a lot of things before then, but officially started it in January. And we were really excited. We were like right off the gate, wanting to do a lot with it. But life happens and we got super busy, and I wasn't able to commit all of the time that I thought I was going to be able to because my life changed very quickly within a month. So, and I know Emily, same thing. Oh, I didn't even introduce ourselves. I probably should have started there just in case anybody's new. I'm Madison, one half of Beyond the Bookshelf, and
I'm Emily.
the other half. So, anyways, back to my story. So we didn't have the time to commit to a whole bunch. So we got together beginning of this year and said, you know what? We want to be able to offer this to more people, more widespread. Yep. So how do we do that? What are some avenues we're not quite tapping into to be able to offer this to more people? And live podcast, kind of came up because we both are familiar with streaming to some degree. So here we are. And this is what we're going to be doing. So Emily's going to kind of explain what we're doing today, and yeah.
So we are obviously streaming on Twitch and YouTube now. Hopefully to get more of our audience affiliates out there. Mm-hmm. It's going to be every 2 months. We can set out a schedule and everything of the dates of when our next one's going to be, which book we're going to be talking about, or just book news in general of what's going on in the book world. Mm-hmm. There's lots of things to talk about, especially today. So
we've come prepared.
A lot of drama to uncover.
Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, basically we have lots to do. So initially we have some show notes that both of us are looking at that we're gonna refer off of. First thing we already did kind of our introductions, but for those of you who don't know us at all, Emily, how long have we known each other?
Oh shoot. Okay. How old would you be in 4th grade?
Man, God, how old are you?
Since about then.
Yeah. So, my goodness.
Just 18 plus years, probably.
No, actually, how old are you in 4th grade? Like 10?
I would have turned, shoot, I don't know, 10, 11.
Well, let's just say it was 10.
I'm 28 now, so.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Hold on. Danny is saying that there's a problem.
What's the problem?
Danny's saying that you are muted. Hang on. We did a whole bunch trying to fix this earlier. Hang on. Don't you worry, I'm gonna fix it. Let me just make sure. My Discord may not have saved my settings.
Well, that's gonna be a little bit awkward.
Oh, wait. No, Danny said you aren't muted. Okay.
Danny, you about made me have a heart attack.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, man, we're in this, like, what, 10 minutes already?
You're about to be demoted.
Yeah, quick. Okay.
Just joking. Anyway.
He's, Okay. Sorry. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me make some minor adjustments. Okay. All right. That should be better. Okay. So anyway, yeah, we've known each other for a very long time. Can you imagine if we were 10 years old in 4th grade, for example, because we don't know how old we were. We've known each other for like almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yes.
That's crazy. So yeah, we met in 4th grade in elementary school. And then friends ever since, but certainly much better friends in high school. The best of friends.
The
Mellies. Oh yeah, Danny. So Danny just put in the chat. And guys, speaking of, make sure that you're putting in the chat. This is interactive. We want to get your opinions. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear what you have to say. But Danny just did put in the chat that we graduated 10 years ago this year. What? What? So anyway, but yeah, so we've known each other for a long time. And then after graduation, I did move out of state, so we weren't physically, of course, closer because I was far away. But yeah, I mean, recently within the last couple years, it's been, we've been making an effort to meet and, and then this idea kind of came about and here we are. So,
yep,
in it together.
Putting our ideas to the limit.
Yeah, for real. So, well, cool. So, we have like a rough flow of how it's gonna go today. We have some topics to discuss that we've done some research on, just to kind of catch you up to date if you're not heavily in the book world, but you want to know more about it and you don't want to have to go out and do the research yourself. Well, we've done it for you. We have lots of books to talk about that we have read, so we're gonna get into our book reviews and how we feel. Yeah. And then questions will be answered throughout the podcast, but if there's any certain ones, our moderator will hold them to the end, and we will have a discussion back and forth. And then we'll talk about what's coming next at our next podcast. And so, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll just quickly
dive into it.
Right in. Let's just jump right in. I'll intro our first topic, and then Emily can kind of pick it up from there. Just because I put like a little extra little something on here. So on our show notes. We first are going to talk about the Lightlark series. That's the whole point of this podcast. The main theme is the Lightlark series. It came out when? Last year, November? Ish.
Lightlark itself?
Oh no, Skyshade, sorry.
Skyshade came out
the latest one. November, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the first podcast topic is going to be the Lightlark series. We're going to kind of refresh and pick up on Skyshade as the latest book. And then we'll talk a little bit about what we think may be happening in the next book. But I specifically put on here, she has now been calling Lightlark the Lightlark Saga. And people are
Makes
picking...
me wonder how many things.
Yeah, exactly. People are picking up, well, what is saga? Does that mean she's going to end on book 3? Does that mean she's going to end on book 4, book 5, book 6? I think we did hear somewhere, I feel like I heard on like a interview somewhere that she said there's like 6 books in the series or something like that. But anyway, so saga, I looked up the meaning of saga when it comes to like literary terms. And it means a long, complex narrative that spans multiple books, often focusing on the story of a family or group of characters across generations. So what are your thoughts on that?
There's probably going to be about 7, 8 books in this thing.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh man, that sounds like it's going to be a lot.
yeah.
But also when it says across generations, I'm wondering. I am wondering.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, here we are. Lightlark Saga. Go ahead. Just move us on, Emily.
All right.
Let's talk about book 1.
Well, disclaimer. We will be talking about spoilers because, I mean, this is a book review. So if you haven't read it, you may want to mute us.
Yeah.
Or, come back to this later after you've read the books. So, Lightlark, let's start there. We've kind of talked about this a little bit already, but...
Yeah.
And it's been a minute since I've read it, but let me see if I can piece it all together again. So, there's different realms, or is it different... oh my gosh, what do you call it?
Well, there's like different, I wouldn't say necessarily realms, because they're all kind of connected. But there's different, like, islands. But
this
is the book
what I was looking
also.
for. So, Lightlark starts off, pretty book.
Yeah.
Starts off with a little backstory, I guess you would say, of Isla and, what she's going through to get to the point to win the, I'm telling you, it's been a minute,
Yeah, it has.
battling with the other crowns, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's all that, and then we get to book. End of book 1 ends with how?
End of book 1 ends with Celeste, who is Isla's best friend, who actually ends up being their big bad, and her name is Aurora, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, she basically ends up Isla, I don't know how to say her name. But anyway, they go through like this trial. They, each ruler has their own power. And they are in this thing called the Centennial. So it happens like every 100 years.
Yes.
It's like the battle for the crown. It's a really great story. But anyways, it goes through and their trials and who's going to win and who's going to die, who's going to live. Because basically one of them have to die in order to break the curse. Because each population of peoples have their own power, but they also have their own curse. So that they can't, Lightlark. The reason there's a heart on the front of the book, heart, is because Isla's people, she's a wildling, and her people, if they fall in love, they kill each other. And they have to eat hearts to survive.
Yep.
Um, anyways, there's two rulers that she ends up actually having feelings for in the Centennial. And Celeste is like trying to help her break this curse, but at the end, it's
Mm-hmm.
actually her. She's this girl named Aurora who is actually trying to
Break her own curse,
break
in a
her
sense.
own curse. Yeah, I'm like, how do you word that?
Yeah.
So anyway, so that she can live and everybody else dies.
Yes.
But she ends up dying in the end. They kill her. She like falls through a big
Supposedly.
crack in the ground, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Supposedly. Um,
Yes.
and then it ends up that she has fallen in love. Isla has fallen in love with both the main characters, Oro and Grimm. So that's
Yeah.
basically how book one ends. Grimm is
Yeah.
like Grimm. You know, you have like your light and your dark. Grimm is the
Mm-hmm.
dark. Oro is the light, and she's fallen in love with both of them.
Then we move on to book two.
Yes.
Night Bane.
Nightbane. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one is a roller coaster itself.
Yeah. Probably my favorite ending of the series so far.
Talk about a jaw dropper.
Yeah. An audible
So,
gasp.
yeah. Slamming the book down and being, what the heck?
Yeah, for sure.
So that one, she's still in between both of them,
Yep.
if I recall.
Yep.
Um,
Kind
but they're
kind
trying to
of.
find a different way to break the curse.
Right.
She has powers in the second one.
Yes,
She
which
gets her powers.
she didn't in the first because she thought
Finds
herself
out,
powerless.
yes, finds out who was betraying her, which would have been her. I don't think they were called guardian angels, but they were
So she called them
her
her guardians.
guardians. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right.
She finds out history about her parents,
Yeah.
and then she also meets her. What is her bonded? She meets her bonded.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a
Um,
big like gigantic
tiger.
tiger cat something that she calls Lynx.
Yep.
Which, by the
Um,
way, this is going to be important. Both of her parents are dead.
yes.
That's why she was
Sadly.
brought up by guardians. This is important to
Yes.
the story, trust me.
Trust the process. So that book kind of goes back and forth, but then it turns out that she's starting to use her nightshade power
Yep.
more, and it was affecting her to where it was making her darker in a sense, and Oro was trying to prevent her from using it because he saw the change in her.
Yeah.
Well, then there comes this big battle to where Grimm is trying to get Isla back, and
Because he's like
there's he
obsessed with her, and we can't like figure
yes,
out why he's
we
obsessed with
can't
her.
figure.
We're like, dude,
Ew.
chill. Like, you barely know her.
Yeah. If only we knew. So they go through this battle. It's a big battle.
Yeah.
All the crowns are coming together in
Yep.
a sense. Um, and at
Against
the
Grimm.
end of that battle, Grimm and Oro were fighting each other,
Mm-hmm.
and or Grimm comes back, and Oro's trying to get Isla to leave, and this is the shocker, people. He tells Oro to get his hands off of his wife.
His wife.
What the heck?
Wife. They're married. Mind you,
So it
Isla
turns
has
out
no idea that they're married.
Isla had no idea because she didn't have her memories.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the second book ended. Then we had to wait till Skyshade could come out in
Yeah.
November of last year.
Yeah.
And obviously, she goes with Grimm because he said if she goes with him, he's going to stop the war, and he
Yep.
did.
Yep.
So she also has some resentment, and she's confused as to why she doesn't have her memories or why her memories were taken away, which he took away her memories to protect her, because if they would have known each other, then it would have caused problems at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of the Centennial.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And Grimm's whole MO is that Isla is close to death. So he's
yeah.
trying to save her life. So he's trying to get to this other thing called the other world, where they all, like, all the gods come from initially, and then they came here to build Lightlark. So he's trying to take her back there because that's the only way that she's going to be able to live.
Yep.
But yeah.
This is I took my my paper cover off,
Yeah, so do I. I do the same thing.
but this is the front of the third book.
The third book or second book?
This is the third book.
Really?
So,
That's Skyshade?
yeah. Yep.
Hang on, that's weird. That's not what my Skyshade looks like. Ah, hang on, look, this is my Skyshade. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So,
This is my Skyshade. That's so weird. I don't know why they're so different. You must have got the deluxe version.
heck, if I did. I didn't know it.
That's cool though.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that is weird. I mean, I like how they do different versions of the book, I guess.
Yeah. Well, speaking of,
Front and back
I do have the collector's edition of Lightlark. I got this for
Yes, I remember you
Christmas.
telling me that.
And it says on the back, there are lies and liars all around you. And look at the front of this book.
It's so cute.
Oh my gosh. And the back. And then it's got sprayed edges.
love sprayed
OMG.
edges.
And then it's got red maps. And then
That is so cute.
the last thing is, I think they're in the back. Hang on, let me see. There are,
I like how it has all the different crowns
yeah.
on the.
Oh, here they are. Okay, so this is Isla. This is her character art. Hang on, let me go this way.
Well, speaking of, there is apparently new Grimm and Oro and Isla art.
Ooh. Here's Grimm and Isla. Which I don't picture him like that in my head. He seems like really, I don't know, I picture him older. More buff.
Yeah.
And then
If they make these movies, like they're gonna have I'm not gonna say a hard time casting, but like there's a lot of expectations. I hope people know that.
oh, totally agree. So this is Grimm and then the other side is Oro. So your light and your dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally don't picture him like that in my head. At all. Oh, and then this
either
is...
one of them, really.
Yeah. This is Azul, so he's the Skyling.
Yes.
And then Cleo, who is the Moonling. Oh, no, sorry, this is Celeste. This is the Starling, sorry. She's the Starling, who is the big bad. Her name's actually Aurora. And then we have Cleo, who is... Definitely did not picture Cleo like that.
Right.
Let me tell you, she's the Moonling. I've pictured Cleo as an old woman.
Yeah. But, we've also found out in is it the third one? It is in the third book that Cleo has a child
Hmm.
that she's
And
trying to get back.
yeah, she's trying to get back. Because didn't they die? And she's trying to get to the other world to resurrect them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Cleo's certainly not my most favorite person. Speaking of Cleo, at the end, which is going to be important when we talk about book three, and I don't know if you remember reading this, but she says, like, don't forget your promise. Because she helped
Oh yeah,
Isla
she
capture.
let her live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. I'm wondering if, because of what happens at the end of book three, Isla is going to go somewhere and bring back Cleo's child.
Possible.
That's my thinking. That's my thinking. So anyway,
Yes. So the third one ends with, hold on, I think I read the acknowledgement. Yeah,
oh,
I did. I was like, that's not how it ended. So this is the last page, and it's Grimm's perspective.
yes,
And it's like he feels her go through the portal
yes,
to the underworld.
yeah. By the way,
So,
that's what happens.
yeah.
Isla leaves to the other world.
Do I?
I said, yeah. By the way, that's how it ends. She goes to the other world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I had mixed feelings with how this ended because I'm like, we went through this whole entire book
Yeah.
without. I mean, obviously, like there's some back and forth. Still, she finally opened up to Grimm a
Hmm.
little bit. Like she accepted that they were husband and wife and
Yeah.
everything. But then it ending on the cliffhanger that like she just left, and
Yeah.
which I mean she's on a mission, like she knows what she's doing, but at the same time I'm
Yeah.
like that's not how I wanted it to end. Like now we have to wait for the fourth book, which Alex Astor herself has said that there is a fourth book, and that it's going to be 500 pages, I believe she said, half Oro, half Grimm, both their perspectives from the
Yeah.
time that they were with Isla. So I don't know if that means before all this, like before she goes
Yeah.
into the underworld, or if it's like something happens, she comes back and we
Yeah.
get their perspective after she comes back. I don't know which way it's gonna go.
Well, I would. So does that mean then that we're gonna have to wait even longer to get book five to tell us actually what's happening to
I
Isla?
I think it's actually gonna be coming out this year.
Oh,
Let me just
take a gander.
confirm.
Well, while you look, I'll kind of hint some other things in book three that I thought. Um, I enjoyed book three overall. I think one of the one of the things that I don't like about I guess the book in general, not that I don't like it. It's just that I noticed that there's quite the trend. And I get why you do it because you got to build suspense and you got to. I get it. Trust
Mm-hmm.
me, authors, I understand. But I hate the I'm going to make you think we're doing this thing, but I'm going to have my own plan on the side. And by the end,
Yep.
we're all going to be screwed because I kept a secret. Like, I hate that. I hate it. I hate
Yeah.
it. But I mean, I get it. I understand why, they write the way they write. But,
It's frustrating to readers.
yeah, yeah, sometimes. Because, like, gosh, why couldn't you just, like, talk to somebody?
Yeah.
Communication. Like, what the heck? So, but anyway.
Okay. So this says that she announced two new books, which from what I saw on her TikTok page, she's saying the two books are combined in one, but I'm sure there'll probably be like a special edition to where like you can get one of the books for Grimm, the other one for Aura, to where they are separate
Uh
books.
huh.
But from my understanding, it's just gonna be one book, but separate. if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like it's separate,
and
but it's
that
bound into one
she,
book.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that she had really big news about the Lightlark film,
yeah.
but we're having to wait till further into 2025 to get those details. But I, from what I'm seeing, it's going to be in 2025 when that fourth book releases.
Yeah,
It's probably going to be end of the year, November, December, kind of like Sky Shade was.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, I'm excited for it. Um,
Oh yeah.
I definitely what I something probably my biggest like yes I love this book was it
Hmm.
definitely was a Team Grimm book,
Oh yeah,
and I am
for
definitely
sure.
Team Grimm.
Who isn't at this point if they
Right?
read all the books?
Yeah. No, I definitely am. Oro to me is just not it. It's just not it. Yeah. He doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. I don't feel like he could. I mean, yeah, he probably loves her, but he doesn't understand her like Grimm does.
Right.
Like Grimm understands her and can handle her dark side.
Yeah.
Oro cannot.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite parts in the book, like it was like a grim moment, was
Hmm.
when he was like, "I married all of you, not just the good parts, not just the good days, but all of it." I was like, "Oh,
Yes. Yes.
oh." And I know, like at the end, Oro's like, "I want you. It doesn't matter what you've done. I'll forgive you." Um,
Yeah.
I'm Team Grimm, and I
Yeah.
loved that they got remarried in this book. Like they recommitted to each other. I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
so, so predictions for book 4. If we think that it's gonna be half Oro, half Grimm, what are we thinking timeline wise? Like, where do you think it's gonna fall?
I'm hoping that there's kind of a time jump and it's after she comes back from the underworld.
Oh, okay,
Is that what you were asking?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But the other part of me, because I mean, we've already kind of got some backstory with Oro and Grimm with her,
yeah.
but like to be more detailed,
Mm-hmm.
maybe Oro's version would be before and maybe Grimm's would be after.
Yeah,
Because we already know how Grimm and Isla met. She used the star
right.
stick and she portaled and then it built from there.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Oh, we have a follower. Root canals rocks.
yeah.
That's gotta be Dr. Soto. That's gotta be. But thank you for following. um, you can chat too, so you can say hey, so I can see. But anyways, yes, no, absolutely. I agree. I think I would like to see Grimm's point of view because we never really got to see when they got married. Like first, like
True.
she kind of gives us like the one and only. Sorry, she's chatting. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you for your support as always. Um, but no, I would really love to see Grimm's point of view. While they meet, they initially fall in love and those kind of things. I would
Hmm.
love to see that. Because I think it would really give a lot of backstory to his character as well, like how he came to be this kind of character who loves and actually feels for somebody because up until this point it seemed he was incapable of doing so.
Yeah.
Um, and to be
Another
honest,
thing. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't want to read Oro's point of view. I could care less.
Yes. Yeah. So another thing, one of the like key details, like in the first book,
Yeah.
Grimm gives Isla a necklace, and
Yes.
he's like, press it, and I'll be there. within the Flash or whatever,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
however he portals in, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
So, she struggled with that, or in the first book, after he gave it to her, there were certain times where he's like very protective of her,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
like we didn't really understand why. And then
Mm-hmm.
same with the second book, up until it made sense at the end of the second book, the reason why he was so protective of her,
Right.
because he knew that she was his wife.
Right.
So, but I'm like, that explains a lot of things, because there were some scenes to where we were like, ooh, getting a little spicy up in here,
Right. Right. So
but
maybe it even goes in, like, gives his point of view in the Centennial.
yeah, to where he has to like hide his feelings, and
Yeah. Yeah.
well, even then, like, because he witnesses her and Oro becoming closer. So I mean, he has
Exactly. But
to,
there's nothing he can do about it. So, like,
right.
I wanna know, like, his point of view and his side of that. Um,
Yeah.
like, having to deal with his own consequences because it was his own fault that he took her
Mm-hmm.
memories away. So,
Yep.
and how he dealt with that. So, yeah, no,
Yep.
I definitely love that. Like I said, couldn't care less about Oro, but hey, I know there are Team Oro people out there, so good for
There's
you.
no
You're
hate.
gonna, yeah, yeah, you're gonna be
No
able to
hate.
read his point of view. Yay for you! I may just skip it, but one other thing, I guess, before we kind of move on, was in the third book. I definitely think she is also Team Grimm, and I'm leaning
Mm.
more that that's the way she's going to end up is with Grimm. They were
Yep.
talking about having children,
Mm-hmm.
and she spent her last night with him, not with Oro. So I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, girl. Yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny, so funny. So, well, do you have any other Lightlark news, Lightlark thoughts, opinions that you want to say before we move to our next
Uh,
topic?
I just hope that whenever the fourth one comes out, it's not going to end on a cliffhanger, or it's not going to leave us disappointed. Which so far, Alex Astor has been amazing with these books.
Yeah,
So,
she's done a great job. She's definitely kept us hooked.
yes.
Yeah,
So, I guess we just have to wait and see.
yeah. Fingers crossed it ends up good. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, that's our thoughts and opinions on Lightlark and Book 3, Skyshade. Um, as soon as we know more about Book 4, we will talk about it in that podcast, and we'll kind of keep you updated. So if you're following along and reading Lightlark, if you want to catch up, you got plenty of time
Yep.
before we hit Book 4. Or if you're already there, then follow along, and when it comes out, we'll chit chat about it. But yeah, so moving forward. So now we're gonna talk about some things that are going on in the book world. These could be things on Book Talk. I mean, because at this point, anything that's on in the book world is on
Mm-hmm.
Book Talk. So,
Yeah.
the first thing that I thought was interesting to talk about is the Onyx Storm phenomenon.
Okay.
um,
Nobody, I'm going to say this
yeah,
before you continue. Nobody come at me. I have not read the first and second book of Fourth Wing. I'm working on it.
yep,
I'm just throwing that out there.
yeah. So
It's the
there,
next series soon.
yeah, there will be no spoilers in this section. Please don't chat and spoil it for Emily because we don't want to spoil the book. That's like the worst thing ever.
Yes.
This is just going to be about the phenomenon itself, not the book. I've
Yeah.
not even read Onyx Storm yet. I had to get through Skyshade first. I promised myself I would not start Onyx Storm till I got through Skyshade, and I finished it this morning. So so I've not even read Onyx Storm, so I can't even talk about it. So there won't be any spoilers. But the big thing that I saw, because Onyx Storm came out in January of this year,
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca Yarros is really doing well for herself. Let me just tell you. We're going to talk about that. But the biggest thing that I saw were leaks of the story.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah. Which I just kind of wanted to kind of get into, especially because I dabble in writing, and not that I've ever really published anything, but just knowing kind of my side of it, of having spent the time to write something and put your heart and soul into something. And then for
Mm-hmm.
the people that you're writing this for, you know, majority, because yes, you write for yourself, but really you do also, I mean, you write for readers because who else is going to read it?
Right.
The people. So it's really disheartening
Mm-hmm.
for her to have put something that she really worked tirelessly on, for then the people that you're writing it for to take it and leak it before it's even ready to be read,
Yep.
which is horrible. Um, so yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on leaks?
Well, obviously they're the worst thing ever, in my opinion. I can see if it actually comes from the author itself, like
Mm-hmm.
given a little sneak peek, like Alex Astor's done with her books.
Yeah.
But it's not giving like she's not really giving any information. It's just like this is what you can expect, and it's just like a small little snippet of a scene in a book.
Yeah.
But I mean, just leaks in general about, straight out like this is just what happens. I mean, it makes it worse for the readers and obviously for the author too, because they've kept it a secret for so long and
Mm-hmm.
working hard to out it their way, I guess,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just goes up in flames.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also a lot of like time, but it's also a lot of money.
Hmm.
Especially if you aren't like traditionally published, because you know, traditional publishing routes, you don't pay for anything. Like the publishing company pays for everything, but then when you sell books, they take a percentage cut.
Hmm.
And then you have to independently um, publish like an indie author.
Yep.
And I mean, that would be devastating for an indie author. Um, that would because financially you are
Hmm.
going to take a hit, because even if no matter how you're published, you would just see more of an impact if you were in indie publishing. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, you take a financial hit because then people and the reason I asked, like, what are your thoughts on leaks, because some people don't care. Some people are like, heck yeah, I got the book for free.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta read it. Like, I ain't gotta pay for it to read it. Um,
Yeah.
but no, I mean, they take hits financially. Um, because then they're not gonna get that cut of the book, and
Hmm.
because you, the biggest thing that I've ever like heard from the writing space is don't write to make money, because you
Yeah.
barely make money when you write. It's very, very hard to be a like stay-at-home writer. Like that's your career, your job, because you make
Yeah.
peanuts from books. You really do. Now, Rebecca Yarros, on the other hand, is not the case, and we'll get into that. But if you are somebody that's starting out, then it's hard, because that $3 that you were going to get on a book is now gone, and let's say that spreads to even 100 people. That's
Hmm.
$300 that you're now missing out on as an indie author, or even a traditionally published author.
Right.
Yeah. So there are the obvious leaks, like the way you leak things. Like people get access and to mishandle it, and so it gets in the hands of the wrong people, and then those people distribute it. But
Right.
one of the crazy ways that I saw people were, leaking the Onyx Storm book is by putting on fake dust jackets onto the book. Because, for example, let me take off my Sky Shade dust jacket. So here's the book. Let's say this is Onyx Storm. This book is Onyx Storm. But this dust jacket is Sky Shade. When you check out at a bookstore, this barcode is the code that they're going to scan. So people would take 2 hardcover books, because that's what gets released first. Hardcovers get released first because they make more money. You can charge more for them, so they make more money. They would take a dust jacket off of, let's say, Sky Shade, and then they would put it on. They would swap the dust jacket. So Onyx Storm would go on a different book. Sky Shade's dust jacket. Ignore my dog in the background. She's burrowing underneath the pillow back there. Anyways, excuse me. They would put on the dust jacket onto Onyx Storm's book, scan it, and they would get to take it home. Because it showed as a purchased book. So it didn't flag and was like, oh, somebody's trying to steal a book. No, they paid for it. It was just, they paid for someone else's book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sneaky.
Yeah.
That is sneaky. But yeah, that's crazy. Because Onyx Storm's dust jacket, the barcode, if it was scanned, it would show not yet for sale. Not able to distribute until January 21st. But switching the dust jackets, they could pay for it. So then those sales that the author would have gotten, right, it doesn't count, obviously, in money. They don't get paid for that. If anything, you're paying a different author because you're scanning their barcode for their book. But those counts also don't go towards her bestsellers list.
Yeah.
So those are also numbers that aren't accounted for her being able to go on the bestsellers list. How crazy is that?
It's pretty crazy. And first of all, I would be really upset if I bought a book that I was expecting to read and then it'd be something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I know some people just did it just because, but I'm like, I would be a little bit perturbed.
Yeah, let's say this is, the dust jacket is Onyx Storm, but inside is Sky Shade, and I don't actually open the book, and I go home thinking I got Onyx Storm, and then I open the book and it's Sky Shade. I would be PO'd.
Yeah.
So anyway,
right back to the bookstore.
Yeah, I'd be like, something has gone wrong here. But, however, Rebecca Yarros did not have to worry about any of that because girlfriend did great. So I'm going to read off a couple stats just really quick, and then we'll move forward, but just Onyx Storm sales 2.7 million copies in the very first week. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I did see where it was that the Onyx Storm was the first book in years that it broke the sales for young adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely got a good thing going. Let me tell you that. She's got a good thing going. Yeah, that's a lot of people buying a book in just the first week. That didn't even account for people who had to wait till the next week to get paid.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So making it the best-selling adult novel in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
according to people.com.
Yep.
That is insane. And do I have... No, it's in my room. It's okay. I don't have to have it. I have it. It's just somewhere else. So estimations put her at making around $3 million for one book.
Girlfriend, you need a co-writer or something, just
Yeah, let me know.
yeah.
Right. So that that's like she made over like $1 per sale, roughly. She made more than
And it's
that.
not
This
even
is
that
just
if you think
estimation.
about it.
Yeah.
Like $1, like if you think, okay, all I'm gonna get back is like $1 of this. I mean, but then you put in the amount of the audience
Yeah.
that is with it. That's insane.
Yeah. So that's another thing, with you bringing that up. It's great for Rebecca Yarros because, my goodness, she's going to make a killing
Yeah.
off of one book. And this is book 3 in the series. So don't you worry, girlfriend's doing all right. But let's talk about then, indie authors or even traditionally published authors, but they don't have such, like, as wide of a reach. Yeah, my mom just said that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. Let's say I wrote a book and it took me 5 years to write a book, because at this point that's how long it's taken me.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say it takes me 5 years and I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this book, and 10
Yeah.
people read it, and I'm only making $1 off of each sale because I'm traditionally published, and that's after for example, taxes, sale fee,
Yep.
so the store fee to sell it in store, agent fees, and royalty rates. I make $1. So where I could have made indie author, let's say I have 10 people read it and I sell it for $5, I made $50 versus $10 going
Mm-hmm.
traditionally published. Now, obviously, those numbers are going to be different because traditionally published, you will make more money. That's just, unless your book's crap. But typically, then they don't take crap books. but, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much authors make. It's really not a whole bunch. So,
It's a lot to take into account.
do it.
I said there's a lot to take into account too
Yeah,
of like what what all they have to do in order to be able to do that.
yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. But those sales do not include ebooks. Oh no, it does include ebooks, but it does not include audiobooks and her merchandise. So
Okay.
she's gonna make even more, which is good for her.
And that's an
I'm happy for her.
audiobooks. Yeah. I would really like to know the the amount of people that prefer audiobooks than the actual book. I am the actual book. Like I like to have the book.
Yeah,
I don't like doing the audio stuff.
yeah. That's a good thing. If you're watching, put in the chat. Are you an audiobook reader, listener? Are you an ebook reader, so Kindle or any other type of ebook? Or are you a physical book reader? I'm curious to know. So Emily's definitely
Yes.
physical book. I would used to say always and only physical book. But with like my work schedule and things like that and traveling, in like the last year or so, I definitely have been
Mm-hmm.
reading more ebooks because my Kindle is much more convenient to take than,
Yeah.
2 or 3 books. Not that I have time to read 2 or 3 books, but, or even on vacation, it's easier to take my Kindle because,
Mm-hmm.
it's easier. Um, I still, though, prefer the physical copy, and you will find, even though I have read it as an ebook, for some reason, I buy it as a physical book. I have a problem. I have a problem. Um, but anyway, yeah, so let us know. Let us know what, if you're physical physical copy, ebook or an audiobook. And actually, I'll tell you, I've read a couple audiobooks, or listened rather to a couple audiobooks, and as of today, canceled my audio or my Audible subscription because I just don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just don't listen. Yeah, I just don't listen. My mom says she's a physical book reader, so definitely we're on the same page.
I'm with you, Mama Reagan.
All right, so cool. Any final thoughts about Onyx Storm?
No, but I will say, once I finally get to that point, I probably have some comments.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
will.
sure in one of our sessions we will circle back around
Yep.
to this series.
Yep. It's on the list for this year, so we're definitely gonna get to it
Yes.
for sure. So if you're a Fourth Wing Rebecca Yarros fan, don't you worry, we're getting there this year. We're gonna talk all about it.
Yes.
So follow if you want to be notified about that podcast.
Yes.
All right, so here comes the time where we're actually going to go over something that Emily sent in for us to look at, something cool that she sent me. So Emily, what is this thing that we're looking at?
Oh, is it the drum? Oh, wait, hold on.
She said, hang on, I got to get there.
Hang on. Which part are... Yeah.
Here we are.
Are we talking about the drama part, or are we talking... I see. Okay. Okay. I think we're on the same page. Okay. I don't know how I came about this thing, but let me tell you. My husband better be ordering me one. Hint, hint. Hint, hint is all I'm saying.
Right.
If he's watching, I don't know if he is.
But if you are,
I don't know where I saw this, but let me tell you, I have been looking for I think I looked at Second Charles and at Books A Million, their website, to see if they have these, but I could not find them. But they are the most adorable things.
Yeah.
And, oh my God. Okay. ACOTAR itself is just...
Yeah, we're going to get there too.
Yeah. But obviously, that is Reese and
Feyre.
we've talked about so many. Yeah, Feyre.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are little Funko Pops that Emily sent me, and I was like, oh, I need one.
They're so adorable.
Need it.
Okay. If people have read the series or not read the series,
yeah,
like, for me, it just makes him look cuter as a little Funko Pop thing.
Yeah, right.
Like, to me, it's just laughable because I'm like, oh, like in the books, he's just big, bad, lovable, but also, like, scary ruler. But I saw that and I was like, that just makes him look adorable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can tell you, I also did research and I'm like, where can I find this? Because I also want to buy one. You can make custom Funko Pops. So, yeah. So you go on the website and you can make custom Funko Pops. We can make Funko Pops of you and I. You can make whatever you want. We just like sit them up here, like on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, you can make custom ones. So that's how they made those. It's pretty cool. And I have some others down here that other people have made. Like, how cute are those?
They are adorable.
Like, oh my goodness. They are so cute. Oh, like a little baby Nyx.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Super cute. Super cute. So yeah. You can make your own. So for any of you book lovers or any of you family members or partners that are watching this podcast, and you're
Mhm.
interested, you're like, what do I get this person for, I don't know, Valentine's Day next year, birthdays, Christmas, whatever you
Yeah.
celebrate. Here you go. Custom Funko Pops from their favorite book characters. Who would have thought? And I don't think they're
Yeah.
that expensive either. So I think it's a relatively like
Mm,
feasible gift.
yeah, they're not too expensive.
That's good. Not too bad.
I guess it also depends on like which character.
Right, yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true. Okay. Are you ready for the next segment of the podcast?
Hmm. Boy, am I.
Boy, are you. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
So,
This drama.
this drama mama. Wild.
Literally.
Wild.
It is.
Yeah. Um, so yeah. Don't even know where to start with this. Um, it's
Let's just talk about the movie first.
okay.
How, because that's basically what it stems from is
No,
the
true.
movie.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this was our very first book that we read as a book club.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, boy, this this really has some significance for us. That's why we're talking about it because it
Uh-huh.
was. I mean, we started off January of last year and was like, you know what? All right, book number one. It ends with us calling
Yep.
Hoover. There's a movie coming out soon. Let's hit it hard,
Yep.
and here we are.
Yep.
All right, so go ahead, Emily. Talk to us about the
Oh,
the
Lord.
book, the movie, and
Okay,
we'll get into
so
it.
for one, I'm also one of those people to where I determine if I like the book or the movie better, depending on how it all plays out.
Mhm.
In this instance, I'm a book person. I definitely prefer the book than the movie because
Yeah.
to me there was just some details left out. I don't like how the movie played out itself, the characters before all the drama. It just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't fit for me.
Yeah.
So obviously when we went to go see the movie,
Yeah.
um, I don't know, it I guess you can kind of tell that it just wasn't the chemistry and how it all just put together, like it just didn't match. I don't like, and I know some other people that things that I've seen news related or whatever before all the drama, like it just wasn't what they have thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But the drama part of it makes me question if there even is going to be a second movie to go along with the second book. Because
Yeah.
at this point, they're gonna have to get a whole new cast, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see them coming back from this. Um,
Yeah.
mm-mm. No, I just don't, unfortunately. Um, yeah, it's crazy. The book was good. I mean, we're like, yeah,
It was good.
it's a good book. There are some things, we're like, you should probably could have done this better, but all in all, we're like, no,
Yeah.
it's a good book. We enjoy it.
Hmm.
Then we went and we seen the movie, and we, kind of did a comparison, and we'll kind of get into this in just a second, but it definitely, book was better, in my opinion. Book was better. They
Yeah.
could have done lots of things different with the movie that I think would have made it good. I'm a firm believer that it's okay to make good movies about books that stand on their own and are just take inspiration from books, But if
Mm-hmm.
you're going to market it so heavily with the author of the book, you better have a dang close movie. And
Yeah.
like timeline wise, sure, the book was, the movie and the book were close, but character wise, boy, they were so far off. They were
They were.
so far off.
Okay, just main character, for instance, Lily. Okay. The outfits, just the way that she portrayed as a character,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Let
it
me
was definitely.
yeah, let me just I'll pull up some examples. Go ahead while I'm pulling them up.
Well, it was just like in the movie, because I'm pretty sure that the first scene is of Lily at her dad's funeral, um, or like getting ready for it or something or another. But like in that instant, I knew that for one, the outfits that were worn for Lily,
Yeah.
and from what I read too, Blake Lively picked, like, she took over that character, which I know like a lot of actors and actresses do that
Yeah.
to help build the character themselves, like make the character come to life.
Yeah, no, that's
But
definitely
she
true.
made that character, just like go way
Awful.
downhill
Yeah,
with
no,
her touch.
definitely. Yeah, let me just pull up some pictures. So I pulled up some pictures ahead of time. So here they are. Here they are. Here's just some of her outfits in the movie.
Like what the like
What the heck? I mean, and this is something that that is part of like some of the things that you're gonna see in a minute. But biggest thing is definitely she had such a big hand in the wardrobe, um,
mm-hmm.
which is wild.
It is.
Do you know that these are clothes from her personal wardrobe? Who dresses like this? Who? Nobody. Nobody. Um, and first of all, I don't think Blake Lively was the right choice anyway
No.
for Lily. I think she's too old to have played Lily's character. Um, like what is up with this two tone pant?
That or
Ooh,
okay, I don't know if you have the image of it, but the dress that she wore for, oh, it was the birthday party, I think. Was it the birthday party?
I will find it. I will find it.
That
Horrible,
dress was so stupid.
horrible. Yeah, I'll pull that up. Do you know that this two pant thing, they're trying to make that happen? Have you seen the Target two tone pant
Oh
two
my
waistband?
God, no.
Okay, hang on. Let me just look it up real quick. This is ridiculous. Target two pants, double pants. I don't know what they call them. Here they are. Here they are. Just you wait. Here we go, and boom. You see that?
What the ever loving.
What the heck? $20 and they're on
Why?
clearance. No wonder.
Oh my Lord.
I guess they just tried to make that a thing after the movie, but yeah, no.
My thing is, they ain't gonna get very far with all this like lively drama.
Exactly.
Like it's not.
Yeah,
It's not
no.
gonna work out.
No. So yeah, there was that photo. Then the two tone pant. Then this one, which I don't know who this lady is in the corner, but that reaction is my reaction.
That
The-
I don't
uh,
understand the style. Like
mm-mm.
it did not. She did not bring it to life well.
What? are those pants with those boots. And look, she did it again. The two bands of the two pants. She got it going on again. Oh, this beanie. Just kind of keep in mind. Keep in mind the beanie.
Yeah.
This comes back into play. This beanie does. Let me grab this next one. Here you go. A jumpsuit.
I
Full
hated that jumpsuit. Like, what are we, a maintenance worker, a plumber? I mean, what are we doing? You are a flower shop owner.
Yeah. You were like a 20-something flower shop owner, not a maintenance worker. What in the world? And then last but not least, this is something. This is something. Camo, all camo. Different pattern camo. Was she in the army? Wild. Wild. Let me find that what was it called? Oh, the birthday.
The dress. It was I think it was, yeah, the birthday party where she showed up.
Birthday.
I think it was like a silver or black dress.
I don't see like a full image. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. I don't think there's a full image, but she showed up in a camo jacket, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, I see it.
Oh, yeah.
Here, this is probably the closest we're gonna get. Is this photo? Let me scroll down and find this photo. Here it is, right here. Can you see that? That photo right there? That right there. She showed up in a nice dress. And this is in the movie, I'm like, okay, maybe her outfits are turning around.
Yeah.
No, she shows up in a camo.
I don't know.
Jacket. With this nice dress on. And then some heels underneath. Where's these heels underneath?
The heels, yeah, it was so stupid.
What? So yeah. So there's that. so there was that. Not great. Not great, to be honest.
Yeah. Seeing if I could, there's not very many pictures of it.
No, there's not. I don't think they actually like did a full length, and I don't blame them.
Right.
I don't blame them. But no, I don't think they actually did like a full length shot of that outfit. So. All right, well, you ready to get to the next slide?
Yes, and this is just I think this was before the drama started or whatever, but this is of her and oh good gosh, what's his name? The one that plays as
Oh, Ryle?
Her ex.
Oh, Atlas.
Mother. The one that owns the restaurant.
Atlas. Yeah. Oh. Can you hear me?
No, not Ryle. Atlas, yes. Okay, this is just a picture of both of them, of Atlas and her. Okay, I don't know if you're going to really be able to see this. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I think there's just a delay. I think we're good. Go ahead.
Are we lagging some? Okay, I don't know if it pops up, but look at these jeans that she wore for this. Hopefully you can see it.
Oh my gosh. Looks like she's been mauled by a bear. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know if you're able to see it. Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, because it didn't pop up on my end.
Okay. Are you able to hear me?
Like, there's so many holes in. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, just making sure. Okay. Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's wild. So I
It's
have
just
everyone is questioning the choice of Blake Lively as Lily and her outfits, which we just kind of went over. So she was too old.
right.
Her outfits were crazy. Nobody was really
Yep.
happy with the choice of Blake Lively. So we knew that was coming. We knew that we're like, okay, well, to be prepared. This you know what might hit the fan. Well, then August
Yeah.
2024, so this, yeah, this is early August 2024, the pre-release promo interviews come out. So this is where her and Ryan
hmm
Reynolds and, what's his name? Not Hugh Grant. What's his name? The guy who plays Wolverine. That guy. Um,
um. Gosh.
oh, Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
That guy. Anyway, he's going around on press tour
That
because
Hugh.
Deadpool and Wolverine are coming out at the same time. Um, and Brandon Sklenar, who, oh my gosh, literally a gorgeous man. But when I'm not even gonna go down that road. I'll be here all night.
Different topic.
Yeah, different topic for a different time. So anyways, those interviews come out and Blake Lively slander picks up immediately. And then the movie is
hmm
released a little bit later. They're calling Blake Lively a mean girl and that she's tone deaf and that they don't like working with her because she is a mean person and that she's
Yep.
a horrible person to work with.
Yep.
So then the movie is released. Things come out about the movie, whether people liked it, they don't like it. And also during this pre promo, they were saying how she was tone deaf because she was trying to make it all about these, like, woman survival and bring your florals to the premiere, and trying to make it like lighthearted when it's really about a serious topic. Danny says, "Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Danny," in the chat. Um, anyways, and so when it's like about this really serious topic of domestic violence, and
hmm
meanwhile on the flip side, Justin Baldoni, who we're going to talk about, Blake Lively plays lead, opposite of Justin Baldoni, who is the main lead. Atlas comes in a little bit. Um, oh, Danny said, "Watch it."
Yeah. About your Brennan comment.
So anyway, um, so they're saying that she's tone deaf. That Justin
Yeah.
Baldoni is trying to make it like a serious thing. He's like, this is all about women surviving, and women's trauma and the things that they really have to go through. And this is like a real
Yeah.
life thing that women go through. So people are split. Some people are like, well, no, it should be about, the other side of women surviving domestic violence. And some people are like, no, she's tone deaf. It really should focus on women's trauma and,
Yeah.
how we all should be better. Then the movie releases. And people have their own things to say about the movie, which we've already kind of said.
Right.
Fast forward to December 20th. Blake Lively is getting a lot of hate online. December 20th,
Yep.
2024, Blake Lively files her formal complaint against Justin Baldoni, alleging serious claims of sexual harassment while on set. And let me tell you, they were wild claims.
Yeah.
Not stating wild as in, oh my god, I could not believe that this would happen, because those things truly do happen to women all the time, especially in Hollywood.
hmm
Just that they were lots. Just to name a few, because I listened through all of them. But the ones that stick out in my mind was that Justin Baldoni would not hire an intimacy coordinator, which, on set they have an intimacy coordinator so that, people are comfortable having, these
Yeah.
intimate moments.
Scenes.
Scenes, yeah. filmed while they're, barely clothed. So apparently he refused to hire an intimacy coordinator. Apparently he would kiss her out of character. Like, obviously their characters were in love, so they would kiss on set, for filming, but that he would, like, the cameras would call cut and he would, like, make comments to her that were out of character. He would bust into her dressing room while she was breastfeeding, unannounced. What are the other things? Like, crazy things that she said that he would do. Like, he was just very inappropriate. Oh, he would show videos of his wife giving labor and she was completely naked. And that followed into him not, like, basically changing things on set last minute to where during the birthing scene in the movie It Ends With Us, she was required to be fully naked, fully nude, when that was not in the script previously. And he hired his best friend to act as the OBGYN, helping her give birth.
Alrighty.
So lots of claims come against Justin Baldoni that he is this horrible, perverted, sexual harasser on set. Now, this goes completely against Justin Baldoni's whole, like, image. He's always, like, made this persona as, like, he is, a feminist. He's for women's rights. He fights against, toxic masculinity, even though he doesn't believe masculinity is toxic. He owns or co-owns at least a podcast called Man Enough, which goes over, like, how to, like, be a man nowadays. So anyways, this formal complaint comes out and everybody is up in arms against Justin Baldoni. And they're like, we knew it. He cast himself in a movie he was directing as the hot romantic lead. We knew it. He was a perv. So at this point, because I've not heard anything, I've not actually done a deep dive, I'm like, oh my God, what a horrible person. I am totally on Blake Lively's side.
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking at this point?
Well, I think it was probably an Instagram post or something or another that I saw that it was like a news Instagram post where at this point, I probably didn't know what to think, but that news post said that Ryan Reynolds was, like, pushing himself on a set and changing some things. So I don't know if that was in the mix with what Justin was changing, but I don't know. Probably when I saw this stuff, I was just like, oh, here we go again. Like a decent movie comes out and there's supposed to be another one, and here we are having drama right after the first one comes to theaters.
Yeah, for sure. It was, like we were saying, like, Ryan Reynolds, it is, like, documented that he did show up on set to, like, support Blake Lively, and that they had Justin Baldoni, and because he owned the production company, he co-owned it, at least I believe, Wayfarer Studios, and the CEO of the company, his last name is Heath, I can't remember his first name, they were forced to sign a form that basically stated all those things that I said, and that they would not be doing those things. They signed it, in good faith, saying, well, these things aren't happening anyway, so of course we'll sign this because it's not that big of a deal. So, anyway. So, after all that, on December 31st, so 11 days later, New Year's Eve, Justin Baldoni files a lawsuit against the New York Times for slander because it was stated that Justin Baldoni had hired a crisis team when things were kind of picking up and getting hate, and that they wanted to bury, quote unquote, bury Blake Lively's career because of all the hate that was getting spewed towards
Yeah.
Justin's way. So, there were text messages, like screenshots of text messages that were filed in a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Or no, sorry, they were
Yeah.
filed in the formal complaint that his crisis team were like really pushing a media narrative that she was the bad person. So then on the 31st, Justin Baldoni files a lawsuit to the New York Times, not to Blake Lively, but to the New York Times for screenshotting those text messages and using them, like rewording them to basically push the narrative that Justin Baldoni was the bad guy. And on the same day, Blake Lively then sues Justin Baldoni directly.
Yeah.
So then on the 16th of January, Justin Baldoni comes back around and he files a lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for defamation. And then Justin Baldoni's lawyers threaten to bury Blake Lively at this point because they're stating that all of their claims are going to come with truth and fact, and that Blake Lively is not the person that we think she is.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I said it during this podcast, but like any accusation that was thrown at Justin, he came back and he was like, no, like this is the proof. Like he had screenshots of some stuff or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think that I'm on Justin's side because the whirlwind of drama that Blake is creating for herself is just like how far is it gonna go?
Exactly. And then in this lawsuit on January 16th, he states a lot of things of he's the producer. He's the producer, he's the director, he's star lead, because he optioned for this film, meaning that he was so behind the story that Colleen Hoover had written. He basically went to Colleen Hoover and asked, hey, can I have first rights to this film so I can do this and do the story justice? Then Blake Lively gets in and she starts changing things. First, it's her wardrobe.
Yeah.
Then she wanted to completely change the rooftop scene. Then she gets in and she's like starting to change scenes here and there. Then she and Ryan Reynolds comes in, and obviously there's these like big Hollywood stars. Justin Baldoni is much smaller in, notoriety than they are. And then they come in and they're changing all kinds of things, all kinds of scenes. They basically like edited a whole movie without Justin Baldoni knowing. And they showed their cut and Justin Baldoni's cut at the same time to like an audience to see whose cut they preferred. Justin's cut won out, but Blake Lively's cut is the one that's in theaters. It's wild. All the things now that are coming out against her and Ryan Reynolds is crazy. Yeah. So, as of January 27th, 2025, this is the last update that we have, so about a month ago, that a trial has been set for March 2026. This is for all of them to go to trial to hash it out. Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for like $400 million.
I mean...
So, tell me, Emily, what are your thoughts on movie number 2?
I don't think it's gonna happen at this point.
I don't see how it could.
A whole new cast probably, especially the two main characters would have to be recasted.
Absolutely.
Everybody else could probably still stay the same, but like, I don't know. Two main characters are just, I don't see it working. One of them or both of them are not gonna be casted again.
Yeah. And I don't even see how they could do a second movie because the producer and, producers of the movie is a company that Justin owns. How are they even going to produce a second movie if he's caught up in a lawsuit against his main character? Oh, did you also notice that Blake Lively took over so much stuff on this movie? Did you ever notice that in all of the posters, it just has her name? It doesn't have
No, I
Justin
didn't.
Baldoni. It doesn't have anybody else's name. It just says Blake Lively. Let me
I
let me
did
find it.
know. Okay, why you do that? I
Yeah.
did know that she, like, when they were promoting the movie and everything, Justin was the one that was, talking about the movie, what it stands for, domestic
Yeah.
violence and
Mhm.
all this other stuff, like bringing that to light. But then she was promoting, what was it, her hair products or something that she was coming out with?
Yes.
Like, didn't really discuss the movie at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, here it is. This is the official movie poster. It says
I don't know how, I probably
Blake Lively.
didn't think anything of it at the time.
That's all it says. Blake Lively. And it's her
What
face.
the heck?
And it's her face.
Like, there's other.
Yeah.
Okay, for one, I can see the picture being her.
Sure.
I can see that. But
Just her name.
I mean, why not include any of the characters,
Ooh, ooh,
the
ooh.
actors?
Oh, hang on. Hang on, I hit a button on accident. Oh no. Hang on, I hit a button. Hang on, sorry. There we go. Got it back. Sorry. I hit the wrong button. There we go. Yeah, no, it's wild. It is crazy. Crazy. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a second movie, unfortunately. I just don't see that happening.
It's upsetting because, like, the second book to me is better than the first book of how just the way that it goes about and so I would be really excited to see the second movie, but I don't see it happening because there's so much, like they have to co-parent and everything, and I don't know how both of the characters would have to be replaced probably. That's what I'm thinking. Or Justin stays and they find somebody else to play Lily.
I agree. My mom just did put in the chat. She said, "I'm not a fan of her anyway. She should just let it go."
Yeah. And at this point, like, what does she need from this? Because
Right.
I mean, her husband plays Deadpool, and I mean, she has other things.
She has 4 kids, by the way.
Exactly. Like,
She's a mother. Yeah, I think she should just move on. I think at this point, I think she's done some real bad damage to her own image.
yep.
I agree. I think she should just let it go. Just move on.
Yeah.
Let's maybe try again with another cast at some other point. But yeah, no, I think I agree. Okay, so quickly, do you mind if we take just a 2-minute break? I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick, and I will be right back.
Okie dokie.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I gotta go. We've been on here for almost 2 hours, so give me just 2 minutes.
I know.
Okay, we're back. Just gonna give Emily's camera a minute to update, and then we should be ready to go. Okay, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. All right. So I can hold it no longer. Okay. All right. So we are going to move on to the last full segment of the podcast, which is our book review. So we're going to take all the books that we've read. This is another reason why we did the podcast every other month, which could change in the future. We just kind of want to get a flow for now, something that we know we can commit to, that's not too strenuous.
Right.
But so we're gonna add up all of the books that we did read. So from today, moving forward, until the end of April, which we'll give you that date in a minute. Any of the books that we've read, we'll put them on a list and we'll talk about them here at the end of the podcast. So before we get into it, we definitely want to say thank you for everybody who has joined and watched and followed and commented. This has been amazing so far. I'll say it again before we hop off. Just make sure that you're following, subscribing, follow on Twitch, subscribe to YouTube. Make sure you got the bell on so that you can see when we go live. So in case you don't write down the date, don't worry. You'll get a notification when we go live. Pop us on. You don't even have to watch us. You could just listen like a podcast. So, but okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or even if you can't come live, obviously you can watch later.
Yes, it will be recorded. It is being recorded. It will be saved to YouTube. We will be putting a much more streamlined edited version up as well, without all the breaks, the ums and stuff like that, the pauses in between talking. And then we'll have some little snippets and clips and stuff like that out on our social media. So follow us on, you'll see them down there at the bottom. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are all there. So follow us there. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I actually did quite a bit of reading.
Yep.
I ended up with 6 books that I will just quickly give. I'm not going to go into crazy detail. You will see, if you want crazy detail, my opinion on these books, you will see that upcoming on our TikTok and Instagram and maybe Facebook. Not sure for sure where we're going to post that. Maybe all 3, but you'll see them there. The first one is going to be Tessa Bailey's newest book, Dream Girl Drama. This is a continuation of, it's like a 3-part series. And I actually didn't read the first part. I didn't know that there was a part before the second part. So I came in on part 2, but it's okay. You can read them as standalones. I read Au Pair Affair. But this is the 3rd book. I was really looking forward to this book. I pre-ordered it, so I got the cute sprayed edges as the pre-order.
Oh.
They're super cute. It is a hockey romance. So, don't judge me, but I do like some hockey romances. We can get into that if that's, we can make a podcast episode on hockey romances, okay? Because that's a whole genre.
Oh, well.
Okay, we are reconnected. That was weird. Okay, I really like Tessa Bailey's writing style. She's not my favorite contemporary romance author, but I do like it, so I'm gonna give it a 3.5. So that's Dream Girl Drama. Have you read any Tessa Bailey's?
I don't think I have.
I love Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey's pretty good. All right, let's see. We're going to talk about next. I pulled up this because I read this on my Kindle. I reread Heartless, which is a Chestnut Springs novel by Elsie Silver. And Have Mercy isn't my favorite, so I reread it again. And I'm not a rereader. Boy, I'm not a rereader. But Heartless gets a 5 out of 5 from me. I love the Chestnut Springs series. It's one of my favorite interconnected contemporary romance series. Say that 5 times fast. It is probably top 3 of my very favorite connected series. Heartless is my favorite one out of that. It's a small town single dad romance. And it is so good. It is so freaking good. So, I mean, it gets a 5 out of 5 from me. I've read it twice. Loved it just as much the second time. Willa, I think, is one of my very favorite female characters that I've ever read. Cade is a fantastic male lead, male main character. Oh, it's so good. It's just so good. So I recommend you read the whole Chestnut Spring series. Maybe if I can talk Emily into reading it, we'll do a podcast episode on it. But I love it. Next, I read Slapshot Surprise by Melanie Harlow. Melanie Harlow is my second favorite contemporary. Well, you know what? She's going to be my very first. She's going to be my number one contemporary author. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. She's my favorite contemporary author, romance author. Slapshot Surprise is actually another hockey romance, but this is only the one hockey romance out of all the others. So she has many connected series. Cherry Tree Harbor is one I've read. This is book 5. I've read all 5. Freaking love her. And when I see her books in the stores, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for her because her books are in stores. Cherry Tree Harbor is great. I'm trying to think of the other one, but I can't at the moment, but it's fine. If you have not read Melanie Harlow, go read all of Melanie Harlow. They're all good. She has like 15 plus books. They're amazing. Her humor in her contemporary romances is phenomenal. So she's so good at making you laugh, making you cry, making you feel. It's so good. She's wonderful at it. So yeah, I would give Slapshot Surprise probably, to be honest, probably a 3.5 out of 5 because it wasn't my favorite, but it was very good. I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
So, next is I went on a little bit of a Rebecca Yarros reading spree before Onyx Storm came out, and I read The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. I can't say never. This is the second book ever to make me cry like a little baby. The only other book that has ever made me cry like a baby was The Fault in Our Stars, and I read that in high school. This is so good. I loved it. I definitely cried. I'm not going to spoil the ending whatsoever because it takes you on a wild ride. But it's so good. Rebecca Yarros is so good at contemporary romance. She's really good at romantasy. Let me tell you, Fourth Wing, obviously, people love it. But if you're not giving her contemporaries a shot, you are missing out. She is so good at what she does. Let me tell you. And I'm so excited because her next book, she's contracted to write a contemporary romance, not the 4th book in the Fourth Wing series, the Empyrean series. So we're going to get a contemporary next, and I'm excited.
That's crazy.
Okay, my next one is Variation by Rebecca Yarros. Oh, I didn't tell you. Last Letter, I'm gonna give her a 4 out of 5 for this one. Because I was hurting at the end. Mm-hmm. I can't give you a 5 for hurt my feelings like that. Variation, I think I'll give it like a 4.5 out of 5. Variation's really good. Bought a hefty book. But man, I think I devoured this in like 2 or 3 days. Variation is really good. This one is it's like a ballerina. I guess one thing I should say, all of Rebecca Yarros's contemporary romance are military romances of some sort.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. But her husband in real life, Rebecca Yarros' husband in real life, is ex-military. So she writes military romance.
Gotcha.
But not like cringy military romance. They're really, really good. I've read others than just those. But Variation is a really good one. It's a really good one. It's about a ballerina, and I wasn't sure I was going to like this one, but man, the cover art. Oh, I was like, sign me up. The
Looks good.
colors on that
Yeah.
cover, oh my gosh. I couldn't pass it up. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for that one. And then, of course, last but not least, Sky Shade. I finished it this morning. We've already talked about Sky Shade. I think star-wise, I'm going to give Sky Shade, because it's really heavily Grimm focused. I would probably give it a 3.5 out of 5, where I think I would give Lightlark and Nightbane a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. That was mine. That's all I read.
On to mine. Obviously, I obviously read Sky Shade as well. Um, I'm with you. I think I'm leaning more towards the 4.5, 4 out of 5 for Sky Shade. Just because I did like the story up until the end. I don't like how it ended. Which I
Yeah.
know most books that are a series, they all end in some sort of cliffhanger or whatever, but this one just, I don't know. I didn't like how it ended whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, that one, 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
The next series I read, I don't have it up here with me. I read the ACOTAR series, finally.
Yay!
So, that series itself, I gotta give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I got the series for Christmas, thanks to my husband. And I finished it all, probably end of mid-January or end of January, just because I was slow reading on the last book, um, just because I saw where it was heading, and when I get in a sense to where I have to stop reading or do like one chapter at a time, just because I don't like the direction that it's going towards.
But you
So
gotta
it took me a long time
push yourself.
to finish the last book.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm happy with how that one ended. Yes. So I'm happy with how that one ended. Gave that series 5 out of 5. My next series is going to be Fourth Wing. Don't judge me because I haven't read any of it yet. I'm working on it. Took a break from reading.
I'm so excited. Awesome. Well, I love that. I love that I actually have somebody that I can talk about ACOTAR and
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah.
It took me like a year and a half to read the whole series.
I'm telling you, I was committed. I liked it. So I mean, up until the last book, I didn't. Not saying that I didn't like the start of it. I mean, it
Yeah,
definitely was different because of the point of view. It was Nesta. It wasn't Farah or whatever. It was kind of slow going for me, but
Yeah.
I powered through it, and I'm glad I did.
Me too.
Positive reviews over here.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, that kind of brings us into our next topic, which is just for here at the very end.
Yep.
Before we end off, before we kind of give you our last thoughts, does anybody have any questions? Anybody on the YouTube chat or anybody on the Twitch chat that has a question, has a thought they want to share about a book that they read recently, something that maybe you really enjoyed, something you really liked, that you want us to read, so that way we can bring you in on this journey. We want to talk to you about it. We want to hear your suggestions of things you think we should read, and we'll bring them to the next podcast, and you can be in and hear our thoughts and chat back with us. So if you have any recommendations, any comments, questions, concerns, put them in the chat, and we'll get to them as soon as we see them come through. So while we're waiting on those to come through, if there are any, the big thing to look forward to, of course, is our next podcast. First of all, like I said, this has been a hugely successful podcast, so thank you so much. It's been great. I have really enjoyed myself. And obviously, thank you to Emily for being here with me, because I would just be talking to myself. Yeah.
I'm glad we got it to work.
Yes, we did. It was a labor of love, but we did it. But our next podcast, put it on your calendars, folks. It is April 27th. So I'm going to put that in the chat. Next podcast, April 27th. Okay. We need to know also, go ahead and put it in the chat. Do you prefer, tell us, do you prefer one way or the other? This time at night? Do you prefer a later podcast session? We may start maybe an hour earlier so we don't run quite so late. This is much longer than we thought, but hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you prefer a late night podcast, or do you want us to do a podcast maybe around like 2 or 3 in the afternoon? So maybe like late Sunday afternoon, but maybe not quite so late into the night. So just let us know your thoughts. You can also, if we end the podcast before you see this, or if you're watching this after it's gone live, you can always DM us on Facebook or on Instagram or even on TikTok and let us know your thoughts. Like, hey, just watched that podcast, loved it, but I would think I want to join you live next time, but I prefer a 2 to 3. We're open to anything.
Yeah.
We just want to know. That podcast is going to be focused around all things ACOTAR. All things ACOTAR. There's lots to do, lots to go over in the world of ACOTAR.
Lots to digest in 5 books.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, lots of exciting things. So, but yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of all I got. What are your thoughts, Emily? How'd it go?
We appreciate. I'm glad that we did it. First one's out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said before, follow us on our social media. Facebook is Beyond the Bookshelf. Instagram is Beyond the Bookshelf Club, and TikTok is Beyond the Bookshelf. If you add the et, it's et Beyond the Bookshelf, but there is an F. But when you look at it, it's only got the L, so I put only the L. So, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for us. We did it. First podcast in the books. Hallelujah.
Yes.
It went off without a hitch. Woo!
Yes. Let us know how y'all like it. What we can do different suggestions and all that other stuff to help out.
Yep. All right. Well, we appreciate you, and we'll see you
next time.
Bye.